Yo, what's going on, YouTube? It's Jordan here, bringing you episode 3 of our franchise battle versus Stanley Gaming. Now, as always, guys, his links will be in the description. Make sure to check out his channel, what he's doing, as well as make sure to watch his episodes of the franchise battle so you can keep track of who's winning the most Stanley Cups, because that is ultimately the goal of this series, is for one of us to win more cups than the other. Now we've got one comment to go over from Scottish Terrier Lover. He says we should definitely go after DuPont. So that's what we're going to do because we do have the trade value. We do have a few contracts expiring, nothing too big. Probably let go of most of these guys. I would say we hold on to Veleno and Drury, but other than that, I mean, most of these guys are just going to need to be let go, as this offseason is really going to be about redefining our entire system. We're going to redo the AHL pretty much from the bottom up, and this draft is going to be pretty important for us getting some prospects in the system. The biggest contract that we have to deal with is Jesper Wallstead, but we have almost $60 million in cap space. There's nothing that's going to stop us from getting this guy locked up, especially long term, if we want to. And a quick look at the retired players, you can see Brent Burns, Letang, and McDonough kind of highlight the bigger fish to call it quits. We'll take a quick look at the goalies as well. Nothing too big, I guess, just Hutchinson. We're just going to get right into the draft here. I only have 3 minutes to try and trade with Boston for the first overall pick. Now, obviously, we are going to have to give up our second round pick in that deal, or our second overall pick, sorry. We do not have too much that we want to give up. We might not be able to do this trade. I'm just thinking we could definitely throw a Mantha on there. Honestly, let's just see if that goes through. It does not. So I'm thinking if we add a first round pick from the future onto here, which we've already given up quite a few future picks, but honestly, that is okay by me because again, we just want to be winning Stanley Cups. See if this goes through. There we go. So we get the first overall pick in 2 seconds in exchange for the second overall pick, Mantha, and a future first. We're going to be drafting Landon DuPont. And with our first second round pick, we will be drafting Jack Keatley. And with our next 2 picks, we're going to be drafting Tommy Hicketts. We're going to take a chance here on Oleg Koltsov. And then the last pick I will be manually picking will be, we're going to take a shot here on Maxim Subarev. And I'm going to let the GM do the rest of the draft. Some entire draft here. Honestly, we had a lot of draft picks. We didn't get the best out of our scouts. That's why I just decided to stop after the second round. Now, let me go ahead and get the re-sign phase done, and I'll bring you guys up to speed with what contracts we sign, and then we'll take a quick look at free agency. All right, guys, very quickly, these are the contracts we handed out. We gave DuPont his ELC. We gave Jack Drury, I believe, a 7-year deal at $2.5 million with a modified no trade clause. I just really like Drury as a fourth line two-way forward, and he also is good enough to be the third line center if we need him to. We brought back Joe Veleno on a 1-year deal, I think. Nope, 2-year deals under $2 million. Probably just going to be the healthy scratch. And then we have Max Pacioretty. We brought him back on a 1-year deal, $3.3 million with a modified no trade clause. And then goalies, we brought back Wallstead to a 4-year deal worth $9.125 million with a modified no trade clause and a no move clause. We have a lot of work cut out for us in this offseason. As you can see right now, we only have really 3 capable NHL defensemen. Landon DuPont most likely goes back to Everett for at least 1 more year. I don't think he's going to see enough growth in the offseason to warrant him being in the NHL. And then same thing if we take a look at forwards, we got about 4 or 5 NHL forwards. So it's going to be a lot of trades and a lot of free agent signings here to try to get us back into contention. I think we've made the moves necessary to make. We've added so much young talent, especially drafting Kernanen and drafting DuPont. I think that we're just ready to turn the page and be a playoff team. Now, I have to go ahead and redo the coaching staff, redo the scouts, and then I will show you guys what moves I make in free agency. Just a reminder, this is more of a brief series. I'm not going as much in depth as I would in the Bison series or the Penguin series. Alright guys, so we are here at the start of the regular season. Now we're just going to go over some contracts to start things off. So let's start with the forwards. So we traded for Michael Rasmussen from the Detroit Red Wings. He's only making $3.2 million. It was a very cheap contract to take on, and also a very low trade value for an 86 overall winger. We brought back Pacioretty, which you already know. We signed a Paul Cotter. He's a grinder. Want to try getting 3 grinders on that 4th line, get the +2 chem going. So hopefully that works out for us. Also, not a lot of players wanted to come here. So we did struggle with getting a 3rd line center. Ultimately, we went with Ryan Poehling. Brought him in on a $3.6 million deal for 2 seasons. Then we brought in Sean Farrell. We also brought in Colangelo, as well as Nick Dowd and Garrett Hathaway. Again, those 2 are the grinders, so they're on that 4th line with Cotter. And then defensively, we brought in Carrier, Chatfield, and Struble, as well as we traded for Oliver Shillington from the Chicago Blackhawks because he had a decent season with us at year 34 points in 62 games. Didn't quite hack it in St. Louis. And then once he went to Chicago, it wasn't as good. He's down in overall and trade value. So it's good. We're just eating that cap space for them, and we got a pick out of the deal. We're going to have to re-sign Kernanen here to a new contract. Probably go 8 years at that 7.35, somewhere in there. Just because he's that offensive defenseman, and he's doing really well. You can see 33 points last season. And this year, we're a much better team. Should be a playoff team, I hope. So he should really break out. And honestly, I'm just going to offer him a contract right now. So we're going to go with 8 years, a modified no trade that gives him 50% trade protection. I think this deal is really going to work out well for both of us, him and then the team, as well as in 3 years when he is a 60, 70 point defenseman. This is going to be a steal of a deal. So hopefully he will accept that. If not, we'll just wait until next episode to get him signed up. And now to show you guys the goalies, Wallstead up to a 79 overall. An 89 overall, sorry, not 79. Yeah, he's looking good. And then we were also able to bring in Devin Levi in free agency. For whatever reason, Buffalo did not qualify him, so he was an unrestricted free agent. He's on a very cheap deal, and he is listed as a 86 overall starting goalie. Now, he was only 82 overall, I believe, when I offered him the deal. So he grew like crazy, and that's good trade value for us to have both Levi and Wallstead. Now, moving forward after this season, we probably need a new coach, and that is because defensively, none of our big fish really fit this coach all too well. You can see Juracek, he fits perfectly. Edvinson does fit the first pair, but it still gives a minus because Kernanen does not fit it at all. And even if we do this, like, okay, that's kind of good, but it still just gives zeros. I would rather have our franchise defenseman, that first draft pick we had, be the top defenseman in terms of minutes. Forward-wise, we're going to go Slavkovsky, Fantilli, Eklund, Rasmussen, McTavish, Pacioretty, Farrell, Poehling, Colangelo with Dowd, Cotter, and Hathaway. Now I'll tell you guys, McTavish has an A, or sorry, McTavish has the C. He is our captain. He is locked up long term. And Mason McTavish, I really like him as a leader. Pacioretty is wearing an A. As long as he's on our team, he'll continue to hold that A. As well as we have the other A with Juka Kernanen. All right, guys. So I went ahead and started the season simulation, and Kernanen or Keranen, I don't know how you pronounce it. Anyways, Kernanen, he accepts the offer at $8 million. I'm going to go ahead and get the season simulation started. I'm going to cut out the preseason and we'll pick this up when once we have officially started the regular season. All right, guys, so we are officially starting the regular season. I just went ahead and moved my camera so that I can maybe do a time lapse of some of the sim. Now, they're sending down Parker Kelly. He's 28 years old. I'm going to claim him. He doesn't need to be dressed or anything right away, but so to start the season, my hope is that we are a playoff team. I fully believe that we have the talent capable of getting to the playoffs. It's just a matter of if they can string it together. And so far, it's not a good start, but we've just got to battle through here. Maybe we'll stop the sim after this first month, change the lines around a little bit, maybe not worry too much about chemistry and just try to get some of the guys going, because it isn't looking too good to start the year. We're 3-6-1, and I know we've won 2 games in a row, but I am going to go ahead. We'll just take a quick look at the stats, actually. We'll look at the stats, see who's performing. Maybe we just need to give the guys time to gel. And Chatfield, the DFD, has 7 points. That's actually insane to me. And besides Eklund and maybe Fantilli, none of the forwards are really putting up any points. Slavkovsky only 1 assist. So quickly, guys, I'm going to change the lines up. I'll show you guys the new lines, and then we'll just get this season simulation underway. So I did not change the defense pairings at all, but I went ahead and switched Rasmussen and Slavkovsky, as well as Farrell and Pacioretty. I'm perfectly fine with that +2 on the fourth line. Hopefully these guys can figure it out. I'm not going to mess around with the lines too much. We are still a young team in my eyes, and quite frankly, our coach doesn't really fit our system. So if we need one more year of growth and then a much more aggressive offseason with getting a new coach as well as being very active in free agency, maybe overpaying on some top guys, then that's what we'll have to do. And again, this draft, I believe, is Maddox Schultz and Liam Pugh. Adding either one of those guys to this team is going to do wonders for us. So if we have a down year again, it is not the worst case scenario. But I'm going to go ahead and just do a time lapse of the next, I don't know, 2-ish months of sim. And then we'll pick this back up around the halfway point and we will see what the team is looking like. All right, guys. So here we are, January 1st. And the team, as you saw in the season sim, they turned it around. We're actually third in the division. 2 points ahead of the Mammoth for the wild card spot, but only 5 points back of the Wild for first in the division. So let's go ahead and see how the team is performing now. Eklund, he still leads the team in points. He is a two-way forward, third line scoring forward, so that's interesting to me. He's got interesting shot power, and then he's got unreal puck skills and an okay offensive awareness. McTavish there with 28 points, Rasmussen, Pacioretty So Slavkovsky, he is really starting to turn it around. He only had 1 point before. She had about 20 points in around, I don't know, 19 games ish. Juracek, he's breaking out offensively. So Karanin is not doing too hot. Again, I'm not too worried about it. He's still young. As we know from the Bison series, offensive defensemen really start to break out around the 24 to 26 age, I would say. Chatfield, he slowed down. There's nobody here now, I would say, that is a shock to me that they are not performing. It seems like we've figured out the problems of our team, and everyone is doing around where I would like them to be, just based off of how poor the first month was. And then goalie wise, we have two unreal goalies who are kind of splitting the duties, but again, both playing unreal for us. And this is really good because it gives us the opportunity now, even though we just traded for Wallstead, we just gave him this huge contract. We could definitely trade him and keep Devin Levi if Levi's going to end up being a little bit cheaper. We're obviously not doing that right away. It's just something to think about for the future. And then just quickly, guys, we can see the AHL team is actually second in the division. So they're doing pretty good down there. It would appear that the AHL rebuild was successful. You can see Iserman and Deniseko are lighting the lamp down there. Just about a point per game. And this is really good because Iserman will be in the NHL next year for sure. And now, guys, once again, we are just going to time lapse up to the trade deadline. It looks like we're going to make the playoffs, so I want to get the season sim a little faster. That's why we're going to do the time lapses. Again, this series is not about going super in depth. It's just a fun challenge between me and a friend. All right, guys, we sit third in the division there with 71 points. Probably not going to catch the Wild, and we could definitely still fall out of a playoff spot. We'll take a quick look at the team once again. So McTavish, Fantillion, Eklund, Rasmussen, Slavkovsky, and Pacioretty. So the top six is leading the way. David Juracek having a phenomenal offensive season. Only had 20 points last year, already 33 this year, could hit 40. Karanin, he's picked it up a little bit. Already 10 goals, though, so he's definitely more of a shooter than a passer, which is fine by me. He's definitely going to hit a career year. Again, this is only his third year in the league. He's only 21. There's lots of time for this guy to hit his potential. Chatfield has slowed down quite a bit. You can see. We'll take a quick look at the goalies as well. So both their numbers have gotten a little bit worse. We are not the best defensive team by any means. And we're just going to take a quick look here at our trade value and see. I don't even know if I want to make any trades. We're in this weird spot where we might not make the playoffs. And there we go, guys. Landon DuPont, 83 overall. Not going to call him up this year. Maybe for the playoffs, but definitely next year for sure. Not anything too surprising in terms of trade value. I was going to see if maybe somebody had some insane growth in trade value. We would maybe make a trade. So, to be honest, we are going to go into the deadline. I am going to take a look around at what's available in the league. but no promises we make trades. We are definitely taking a conservative buyer approach because we're still younger. We have not hit our prime here yet with a lot of our guys. So we don't need to rush into being a playoff team or at least like a Stanley Cup contender. We can use this year as a great experience year. And then in the future, we can come around and like next season or the year after and start being very aggressive buyers. Apparently we have Devin Levi on the block. I can tell you right now we won't be trading him away. Um, just taking a quick look around here, there's nothing that really excites me. We do need a sniper, but we do have Iserman coming. So I'm content to wait for him to, get to the league before we really go out and acquire another sniper. We definitely just need to get, again, Eklund get more growth, get Eiserman into the league, maybe one more, younger center playmaker type guy, and then we should be, competing for cups for a good decade with the core we have. Now, I'm not really seeing anything out here that screams to me, great deal, go get this player. Maybe I'm just being a little bit blind or stupid because I really do just want to wait for all of our guys to be ready. Like Dupont is not in the NHL yet. We still have Iserman not in the NHL yet, right? So maybe it's just me kind of wanting to sit and wait is why I'm not really noticing any good trades. So we are just going to probably back out of the trade deadline. To me, that really says go out and make this trade. Your team will be much better in the long run. Sure, we could have traded for a guy and made our team better right now. But again, the whole idea of this series is winning the most cups in 25 years. So we have to be smart about getting a core that can compete for a long time. Now, I most likely will not time lapse the rest of this sim. Let's just talk a little bit about the team here, as I think we're in a good spot. Obviously, we start the sim back up with 3 losses, 4 losses in a row. So we drop out of a playoff spot. Yikes, now we've lost 6 games in a row. We definitely are not making the playoffs now. I'm actually going to stop the season simulation here and I'm firing our head coach. That 6 losses in a row and screwing our chances at the playoffs just confirms to me that Ryan Huska is not the coach we need. Medano will be the interim head coach, and I'm actually going to look right away here at some NHL head coaches. As we can see, Paul Maurice is out there. Doesn't fit too well with everybody, but fits decent with a lot of our, permanent players. Ryan Huska, you're not coming in here. Lindy Ruff as well. It's pretty good with a lot of our long-term players. Philip Kolzar doesn't fit too great. What's this? Damon Ullymore doesn't fit with Slav. Fits really well with a lot of the guys though. And because of that, I'm gonna go ahead and offer him our head coaching position, get him under our control. I think I want to go after somebody else in the off season, but if he signs here and comes to be the coach, he can at least be demoted until he has grown more and is actually ready to be a head coach full time. So yeah, not too happy with the way the boys played there. I mean, we are on a 3-game win streak, and we do get Damon Cullymore, but just losing those 6 games in a row and already wanting to fire Ryan Huska, it just kind of made the most sense to me. I mean, if we can win out here, we can definitely make the playoffs still. But Huska, he had to go. He was going to go in the offseason regardless, but it just wasn't working out. We've got to win out here 2 points there. We've got to win. And there we go. We do not make the playoffs. We lose 5 games in a row to end the season, and we finish eighth in the division. Literally, had we won these overtime games or won the game against the Hurricanes, we would have made the playoffs. Even had we won one of these games in this 6 game win streak, we would have made the playoffs. So we're going to go ahead here, start getting this video wrapped up. Let's take a look at the guys here. Not the offensive numbers I wanted to see, but everybody in our top 6, besides Pacioretty, had 50 points. So I guess that's good. I mean, we still need to get some growth here. So yeah, we really just need to get some more growth, especially from our younger guys. Eklund had a phenomenal rookie season, up to a second line forward. He was always top 6 forward high. So I'm really, really happy with that trade we made with the Islanders to get him, as well as Yzerman. If we look in the AHL, Yzerman, he had 63 points. So he had a better season than last year. He did get into the NHL last year, but didn't look too good, and he just needed 1 extra year. Next year, he for sure gets into the NHL. Topi Niemela, we ended up not calling up, but again, he is an option for us next year as well. Bordelot as well could be a 4th line forward for us. We signed this guy in free agency. Not really going to grow anymore, but at least we have the depth options. And I don't believe we have any other prospects down here in the system. We can take a look at Kolosov. There's a chance he grows, but he's down now from starter low to fringe starter, so it's not looking too likely. And in the NHL for goalies, Wallstead and Levi, they played solid. I would say a lot of their stats being lower than they were to start the year would contribute to the fact that we just were not good defensively, especially down the stretch. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys just very quickly all these stats through the league. So Eklund, good chance he wins the Calder. For goalies, probably Gustafsson is going to win the Vezina. Defensively, you've got potentially Morris, McAvoy, or Bouchard, I would say, for the Norris. And then if you look at all skaters, you've got Draisaitl winning the Art Ross, Matthews and Pasta winning the Maurice Rocket Richard trophy, and Draisaitl and Rossi, Nazar, Nylander, and Crosby leading the league in assists. And there we go. Gavin McKenna in Pittsburgh playing with Crosby is doing fantastic. Maybe we should have traded up for him. You know, hindsight is definitely 2020 on that one. All right, so we did make the playoffs in the AHL. So we will watch our AHL team playoffs. We only have the one prospect down there that we really care about, but hopefully for him we can make a deep run. Again, playoff experience always helps young rookies grow. We lose the first 2 games, and we actually do get swept there by Utica. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the playoffs simmed up, and I'll show you guys who wins the Stanley Cup. All right, guys, you can see here that it is Game 7 versus the Sharks and the Rangers. So I thought it'd be cool to sim this game with you. And wow, St. Louis gets fired, but you can see the New York Rangers have won the Stanley Cup. Shout out to my buddy Cleanup. That's his favorite team. So let's go ahead here, take a look at the awards. So the Oilers won the President's Trophy. The Sharks make it to the Cup Finals there. Same with the Rangers, obviously. So you've got Draisaitl winning the Hart, the Art Ross. McAvoy snuck away with the Norris. Don't remember if I said his name or not. Gavin McKenna winning the Lady Byng. And yeah, there we go. Our boy Eklund getting the Calder Trophy. Adam Fox wins the Conn Smythe. Gustafsson the Vezina. Shesterkin and DeSmith the Jennings Trophy. Don't know how to say that, but he wins the Masterton. Dan Muse wins the Jack Adams in Buffalo. Beniers with back-to-back Selk trophies. The Ted Lindsay going to Draisaitl and Pasta and Matthews get their name on the Rocket Richard Trophy. We will take a look and see if any of our players won any AHL awards. It would appear not. It seems like Wilkes-Barre really had a stranglehold on the league. And now, guys, quickly before we get to the draft, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure how scouted out the draft was. I have to admit when I messed up, and I definitely spent about 30 minutes hiring scouts and did not assign them anywhere. So we definitely don't have the most scouted out draft. That is a mistake on my part. On the bright side, at least we know what's up the top of the draft, and that is Schultz, Kalinin, McKernan, Hugh, Connolly, Vickland, and Milson. We know these guys are all medium elites, and Schultz being a high elite, he is the player I want. He is a playmaker. He is the forward piece I feel we're missing. And I will try my damnedest to move up to get that pick. Now, let's sim up to the draft here so we can actually see where we're drafting. And we don't win the lottery, we actually get the 13th pick. So we're definitely making a trade to move up. It's just a matter of who we're going to move up for. This is pretty much where we're going to end the video. I don't want to do any draft interviews. If I'm being 100% honest, it's not going to do too much for us. Yeah, it's not going to tell us the potential of the players we don't have scouted, so it doesn't really help me. So I'm interested about this Russian defenseman. He is NHL ready. Realistically, he's a year away. He's Zdeno Chara style, so most likely, yeah, he is a DFD. So he is one player I definitely would want to draft. Now, my thought process here is we use our pick and a couple of rookie skaters or something, move up to first, we draft Maddox Schultz. Then we use Slavkovsky to trade up to draft Anisimov because I don't think Slavkovsky's really going to work for us. We don't need to trade him for a sniper because Cole Eiserman's going to get into that top six to replace Pacioretty, and then Maddox Schultz can replace Slavkovsky. Let me know what you guys think on that. Do you think that is the right move, or should we go after somebody else? Like Oleg here has got, what is that, 1 team quick release? He's going to be a power forward sniper. We've got McKernan here. We don't really know anything about him. Liam Pugh. Now, we know what Liam Pugh is capable of as he is our franchise winger in Saskatoon. If you guys think we should go for him, I will. Personally, I'd like to get some different names into this franchise. There's going to be so many franchise modes on this channel between now and when Schultz and Pugh get drafted. So there's lots of time to get both of these guys into the series. You've got Landon Connolly here as a playmaker. He could actually fit really well on that first line as well. And then Vickland, he is an offensive defenseman with shutdown ability, so he could be interesting. He's a similar style to Subban. As well as Milson, he's that playmaker, Jumbo Joe-esque type player. So we definitely have a few options. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think we should do for this draft class? And before we end the video, we're going to take a quick look at these contracts. Now, all expiring, we've got Rasmussen, Carrier, Chatfield, Potter, Niemela, Patches, who we're going to finally move on from, and then just a bunch of the AHL guys. And then no goalies are expiring. Wallstead is down to an 88. We still have Levi there at an 86. Should we move on from Wallstead now to free up some cap space, even though we definitely don't need cap space freed up? I can show you guys here we have $40 million for next season. So we'll definitely bring back Rasmussen. He can play on that third line next year because we're going to start targeting some depth. We'll take a look at the main roster. Defensively, that is where we need to target the most. Karanen was an 85 at points in that season, ends at an 84. Landon DuPont is ready. So kind of what I'm thinking, the top four will obviously be Juracek and DuPont and Karanen. And I think we potentially move on from Edvinson. He still has some value. He is not growing the way I would have liked. We can move on from him and we can bring in a big name player to play alongside Karanen. And then we will bring back Carrier and Chatfield to be the bottom pair. And we'll bring Topi Niemola back for some depth option as well. And then forward wise, we'll bring back Rasmussen for that third line. Holy crap. Farrell is up to an 85. We didn't trade for this guy. They left him uncovered. And we gave him top 6 minutes and he grew really nicely. So with the moves I want to make and with bringing up Yzerman, bringing in Maddox Schultz, Farrell can be on the third line and we're going to have a really deep team. With that, we are going to end off the video here. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the series as a whole. I don't know if Stan's won a cup yet. I'll have to watch his episode 3 the same time that you guys do and figure it out. I don't even know really what his team looks like. I've been slacking on the YouTube stuff. Hopefully, we are at least in a better position to win more cups in the long run, even if he gets a few on us in the beginning. Let me know your guys' thoughts on what we should do. I appreciate you guys watching so much. It really means a ton to me. Make sure to like and subscribe, and YouTube will see you in the next one.